It's almost preseason time, training camps, the NFL season is upon us, and to me, there are 5 real contenders for the Super Bowl in 2022. There's a bunch of teams that could make it, teams that could win if things break their way, if they get a lucky run of injuries or some guys play way beyond what we're expecting from them. But there are 5 teams that on paper should be in contention for the Super Bowl. Number 1, top team in my power rankings that came out a few weeks ago, the Buffalo Bills. Number 2, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. One last go around with Tom Brady. Number 3, the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is always going to put you in the hunt. And number 4, number 5, the 2 Los Angeles teams, the Rams and the Chargers, given what they've done in this offseason. So let's take them one by one and run through each team. Buffalo, look, they didn't make the Super Bowl last year. They didn't even get, right there, but 13 seconds away from knocking over the Kansas City Chiefs. And who knows what would have happened in the AFC title game if they'd survived those 13 seconds. And okay, you can't take that away, but it just means that they were in the hunt. They were already that good a year ago, and look at what they've done this offseason. They bring in guys like James Cook in the draft, a guy that could come in and immediately be their best running back, and if not, at least bring them a little bit extra to the table in terms of receiving, in terms of run after the catch ability for Josh Allen. You bring in Von Miller as a pass rusher to really improve one of your biggest areas of weakness. And their top pick in the draft as well, Kaiir Elam, comes in and really addresses arguably their biggest question mark in terms of a starter on that defense. So Buffalo has the best roster in the NFL, top to bottom, 1-53. They also have Josh Allen, an absolute freak show at quarterback. Didn't just back up his 90-plus grade breakout year from 2020, but did it again, maybe got a little bit better. 2 seasons of 90-plus PFF grades under his belt now. The Bills, I think, should be the absolute front runners. But Tampa Bay, how can you overlook Tom Brady at the age of 45 for one last go-around, the true last dance before he rides off into the sunset? Owns a team, takes over a multinational corporation, takes over the world. Whoever knows what Tom Brady's going to do afterwards. But 2022, Tom Brady is shooting for one last Super Bowl to absolutely cement his legacy. And it's tough to say that the Bucs don't have the roster to get it done. Biggest hole, maybe tight end. And let's face it, everybody's expecting Gronk to unretire. Once we get to, week 1, training camp's over, Tom Brady puts in the phone call. So the Buccaneers have got an incredible group of receivers. Might have Gronk back in the building. Their offensive line is still very, very strong. They addressed that in the draft as well. And that defense is a high-end unit. They've had some turnover there, but they're still top-quality players at all 3 levels. The Bucs should absolutely be contenders. Let's not overlook the Super Bowl champion, Los Angeles Rams. Obviously, they're the defending champions. Maybe they overachieved a little bit last year based off Matthew Stafford going on that run in the playoffs. But that was the whole point in this strategy of stars and scrubs, of bringing in a guy like Matthew Stafford in the offseason, was him having the capability of making that kind of run at the most critical time in a way that Jared Goff simply doesn't have. It worked for them year 1. There's no reason it can't work for them again year 2. They are still stuffed full of talent. They've got Matthew Stafford. They've got Cooper Kupp. They've got Aaron Donald. They've got Jalen Ramsey. They bring in Bobby Wagner. There is a ton of high-end playmakers on this Rams team. They have a great coach. They have enough depth with all the players that they brought in terms of those low-round draft picks. They can definitely contend as well. Kansas City, anytime you have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid as the bedrock of your team, you are going to be contending every single season. The Chiefs, by the way, also have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL in front of Patrick Mahomes. So the one Super Bowl he got to and got absolutely murdered by the Buccaneers defensive front shouldn't be a factor this year. We are going to see that offensive line beating up on pretty much everybody it comes up against, and Patrick Mahomes is a superstar. Okay, no Tyreek Hill this year, but they've replaced him with a lot of bodies. Marquez Valdes-Scantling to replace the deep threat. Sky Moore, a draft pick that could really exceed expectations given what we saw from him in college and the sheer breadth of his skill set. Juju Smith-Schuster as well. In addition to what they already had, the Chiefs' offense should still be absolutely fine, and the defense has generally done just enough to make them perennial contenders every single year. And then the 5th team, the kind of wild card of this group, the team that most people won't have there, the Los Angeles Chargers. Look, Justin Herbert didn't just not regress in year 2. He got even better. Justin Herbert right now is playing as well as any quarterback in the NFL. He might have more wow throws in his tape than anybody, including Patrick Mahomes, including Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers. He goes out there and throws some absolute howitzers all across the field. The Chargers have done a great job investing the money that they're saving and having him on a rookie deal, giving it to receivers, bringing back Mike Williams, doling that money out to the top playmakers in that offense. The offensive line is still in good shape. A little bit of a question mark at right tackle that you don't love to see, but all the investment this offseason went on the defense. You bring in Khalil Mack, gives them the best edge rusher duo in the NFL in all likelihood with Joey Bosa. Also probably dramatically improves the run defense, which was a real problem for this defense a year ago. A little bit by design, they invite the run. They're comfortable with the fact that is a less efficient way of playing offense. But they also had games where they gave up way too much, right? When you're giving up 6-7 yards a carry, like against the Cleveland Browns, you've gone too far in that direction. Khalil Mack will help. Bringing in guys like Sebastian Joseph-Day will help. That defense should be significantly better. And then J.C. Jackson on the back end, they are building a stable of playmakers and ball hawks in that secondary. So I absolutely think the Chargers should be one of those 5 contending teams. But those are the only 5 teams that I would put in that capacity. I think those are the 5 teams that are going to contend for the 2022 Super Bowl.